do you look at life now? Has parenthood changed you on way you look at things? Have things, the way you handle things, the way you look at things, the way you plan, the way you play, has it all changed due to parenthood, or is Sania Mirza still the same young debutante who just took the world by storm without any pressures on her mind?
No, I think that some things have changed. I think that with age and experience, and of course, parenthood, you understand and learn that losing a tennis match at the end of the day is not the worst thing in the world when you come back to a child who's smiling at you and says he loves you no matter what happens. So, yeah, in a broader perspective. But having said that, I hate losing. So, if I ever lose a match, nobody wants to talk to me because I don't want to see anybody's face. But no, I think that some things have changed, yes, the perspective, but it's not just parenthood. I think the pandemic has changed that as well for a lot of us. I think that we have begun to realize that smaller things make us happy. Simple things can make us happy. Eating ghar ka khana is a luxury for tennis players, and we got to do that for 7 months. We used to take traveling for granted, for example, which we don't do anymore because we can't just pick up our bags and leave. We have to do a PCR test, and we got to see if we got a quarantine. So, I mean, there are many things that have that the pandemic and parenthood have put in perspective for me. But having said that, as a tennis player, it hasn't changed me at all. Every time I walk on the court, I want to win, and that's the reason I'm still here, because I believe I can win. If the second that I believe that I'm not good enough to win, I won't be playing tennis anymore. That's something that I know for a fact.
Well, Sania Mirza, I also want to know that the minute women get married, in any profession, there are, is she going to be serious about the job at hand? Is she really going to give it 100%? Is her attention going to be divided? Is it even more difficult for people like you, athletes like you, because, people just assume that you're going to call it quits? Have people made comments of those kinds for you when you became a mom?
Yeah, I mean, before I became a mom, everybody was worried when I was going to become a mom or if I could become a mom. And then once I became a mom, they were worried how I was going to lose the weight and how I was, how body shaming has become a huge thing, right, on social media these days. So it was all about, oh my gosh, she's so fat. And like, well, I was pregnant. There's a slight difference, but okay, let's just go with that. So I think that, as women, we are subjected to a lot of physical, our appearance is subjected to a lot of comments and suggestions and advice, whether we want to take it or not. And obviously, as a woman, when we talk about equality, we are not really talking about the fact that, oh, physically we are stronger than men, and that's why, it's not about that, right? It's about equal opportunity. It's about the equal treatment. Like you said, people just assume that once you get married, will your attention be divided? I mean, the man is not asked that question. My husband wasn't once asked when he was going to have a baby. I was asked 1 year after marriage when I was going to have a baby all the time. So, I mean, things like that. I mean, there are these hidden sort of, cultural things that as women we just deal with. And unfortunately, we do live in a man's world. Whether people like to accept it or not, it is a man's world. So it's women like us who have to stand up and prove them wrong, right? And I guess when we all start doing that, eventually it's going to stop, and these assumptions and questions are going to stop.
Come on, man's world, forget it. Not for Sania Mirza, not for any woman of 2021. Men, where are you? They would be scared to come anywhere close to us, Sania.
In this interview, I don't think they're coming anywhere close, but I'm saying in general.